Carpathian Mountains. Roman Empire. Trajan's Dacian wars. From their powerful realm north of the Danube River, the Dacians regularly raided the Roman Empire. In AD 101, Trajan fortified the border and invaded with tens of thousands of troops. 2 years of war led to a negotiated peace, which the Dacians promptly broke. Trajan returned in 105 and crushed them. Lord Moesia. In the first major battle, Trajan defeated the Dacians' background at Tape. A storm indicated to the Romans' foreground that the god Jupiter, with his thunderbolts, was on their side. Wealth of barbarian art. 6.7 inches high. Dacians fashioned precious metals into jewelry, coins, and art, such as the gold-trimmed silver drinking vessel at left. These gold coins with Roman imagery and bracelets weighing up to 2 pounds each were looted from the ruins of Sarmizegetusa, the Dacian capital, and recovered in recent years. Meanwhile, legionaries, the highly trained backbone of Rome's war machine, occupied themselves with building forts and bridges, clearing roads, even harvesting crops. The column portrays them as a force of order and civilization, not destruction and conquest. You'd think they were invincible too, since there's not a single dead Roman soldier on the column. The column emphasizes Rome's vast empire. Trajan's army includes African cavalrymen with dreadlocks, Iberians slinging stones, Levantine archers wearing pointy helmets, and bare-chested Germans in pants, which would have appeared exotic to toga-clad Romans. They are all fighting the Dacians, suggesting that anyone, no matter how wild their hair or crazy their fashion sense, could become a Roman. Trajan was born to Roman parents in what is now Spain. Some scenes remain ambiguous and their interpretations controversial. Are the besieged Dacians reaching for a cup to commit suicide by drinking poison rather than face humiliation at the hands of the conquering Romans? Or are they just thirsty? Are the Dacian nobles gathered around Trajan in sin after sin, surrendering or negotiating? And what about the shocking depiction of a woman torturing shirtless, bound captives with flaming torches? Italians see them as captive Romans suffering at the hands of a barbarian woman. Ernest Oberlander Tarnovenu, the head of the National History Museum of Romania, begs to differ. They are definitely Dacian prisoners being tortured by the angry windows of slain Roman soldiers. Like much about the column, what you see tends to depend on what you think of the Romans and the Dacians. Among Roman politicians, Dacian was synonymous with double-dealing. The historian Tacitus called them a people which never can be trusted. They were known for squeezing the equivalent of protection money out of the Roman Empire while sending warriors to raid its frontier towns. In 101, Trajan moved to punish the troublesome Dacians. After nearly 2 years of a battle, Decebalus, the Dacian king, negotiated a treaty with Trajan, then promptly broke it. Rome had been betrayed one time too many. During the second invasion, Trajan didn't mess around. Just look at the scenes that show the looting of Samizegetusa or villages in flames. The campaigns were dreadful and violent, says Roberto Meneghini, the Italian archaeologist in charge of excavating Trajan's forum. Look at the Romans fighting, which cut off heads in their mouths. War is war. The Roman legions were known to be quite violent and fierce. Yet once the Dacians were vanquished, they became a favorite theme for Roman sculptors. Trajan's forum had dozens of statues of handsome, bearded Dacian warriors, a proud marble army in the very heart of Rome. The message seems intended for Romans, not the surviving Dacians, most of whom had been sold as slaves. No Dacians are able to come and see the column. Meneghini says it was for Roman citizens to show the power of the imperial mercenary, capable of conquering such a noble and fierce people. Trajan's column may be propaganda, but archaeologists say there's an element of truth to it. Excavations at Dacian sites, including Sarmizegetusa, continue to reveal traces of a civilization far more sophisticated than implied by barbarian, the dismissive term the Romans used. The Dacians had no written language, so what we know about their culture is filtered through Roman sources. Ample evidence suggests that they were a regional power for centuries, raiding and exacting tribute from their neighbors. They were skilled metal workers, mining and smelting iron, and panning for gold to create magnificently ornamented jewelry and weaponry. This scene shows Roman soldiers loading plunder onto pack animals after defeating Decebalus, the Dacian king. Cats such as this one preserve details on Trajan's column that pollution has eroded. Samizegetusa was their political and spiritual capital. The ruined city lies high in the mountains of central Romania. In Trajan's day, the 1,000-mile journey from Rome would have taken a month at least. To get to the site today, visitors have to negotiate a potholed dirt road through the same forbidding valley that Trajan faced. Back then, the passes were guarded by elaborate ridge-top fortifications. Now only a few peasant huts keep watch.